These are my friends Steven and Christina, and I'm going to be chefing a date for them tonight. This is my friend Steven. We've basically known each other our whole lives. You may recognize him if you've seen my Patagonia video.
What up? This is S-Dog. Swagger here.
Anyway, we had this silly idea to surprise his girlfriend Christina, who I still haven't met yet. I was going to be a chef and make some fancy-ish food for one of their dates. She's also a vegan, so that's another challenge for me. I recently ate vegan for a week, so I did a few vegan recipes for the channel. That was a good experience, but this was definitely going to be much harder. But I came up with this 3-course menu of recipes that I'm going to show you in this video. Everything was homemade. I made some fresh baguettes, chayote soup, mushroom risotto, and then some chocolate mousse. I prepped everything and brought it to Steven's house, which is where we were going to do the date. Hey guys. What's up, Anakin? Hey Bennett. How you doing? Y'all ready to do this? While Steven went to pick up Christina, I was making sure everything in the kitchen was ready to go, but I'll show you the lengths that this man went through to put on a good presentation. You can see the nice tablecloth set up with a candle, and he even printed out these amazing menus with descriptions of all the food. Bravo, bro, you really killed it. But yeah, he just told Christina they were going to a fancy restaurant, but he forgot his wallet at home, so he had to stop there. All right, we have everything just about ready. All I'm doing now is waiting for the guests to arrive, so let's get right to the fun. This is one of the finest restaurants.
Is this a restaurant?
You can smell the food cooking here. This is called Migliori's on Boulevard. It's a new up-and-coming restaurant. Just opened up a couple weeks ago.
Who's the chef?
Hello. How you doing, chef? Hey, how's it going? Welcome to Migliori's on Boismere.
Hi.
My name is Matt. I'm going to be taking care of y'all tonight.
Hey Matt, how you doing?
How's it going? Yeah, I wanted to start you guys off with our house wines, a red and a white wine. So are we celebrating anything tonight?
So I'll ask you.
I'll bring y'all out some fresh bread.
Okay.
And some olive oil. And then our starter soup today, our special, is the Chayote Soup, which is it's a squash. It's a green soup with some peppers. It's a little bit spicy, but it's really rich.
Okay.
Thank you. You look familiar. I think I've seen you
Do I?
on YouTube before.
Really?
Really?
You want to get a taste of this first? Okay, so this isn't a super recipe-focused video. It's more about the fun of the date and the surprise and the event and everything. But I can't not share the recipes for everything. I'm just going to try to breeze through it more quickly than usual so we can get back to the fun and watch the guests eat it. So I started them off with some homemade baguettes. I pulled this from my banh mi video last year. It came out really well. Starting by proofing a half packet or 4 grams of dry yeast in 180 mils or 3/4 of a cup of warm water. Add 4 grams or a teaspoon of sugar to help.
Frothy boy.
Then into my stand mixer, I'm adding 250 grams or 2 cups of all-purpose flour, 5 grams or about a teaspoon of kosher salt, 7 grams of vital wheat gluten, and 5 grams of diastatic malt powder. Then we add the frothy boy and knead that on high for like 8 minutes until it's stretchy. Proof in a bowl for 2 hours and then divide it evenly into 2 pieces. Roll each into a ball and let it rest for 30 more minutes. And then press each one into a rectangle and roll it up. Pinch the seam and taper the outer edges a bit. Cover and proof one more time for 45 minutes. Slice the seam with a razor and then load into a preheated 475-degree Fahrenheit oven, specifically onto a pizza stone or pizza steel. Pour some water below into a baking dish to create steam, and then spray all the surfaces of the oven before closing. Add some more spritzes and rotate the bread every 5 minutes or so, and after about 15 to 18 minutes you should have freshly browned baguettes. Let's get this bread out to our hungry guests. Some bread for us. So bread's great, but it's even better with a little bit of olive oil and pepper. So and there's more bread if you guys need it. So.
Let's try this bread.
Oh, did he make this bread?
He made it from scratch. Yeah.
Straightforward. att.com/hypergig for details.
The whole upstairs?
He makes literally everything from scratch.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, good.
It's so good.
Yeah.
It's so soft.
However, man shall not live by bread alone, so I paired it with a chayote soup that's based on one that I tried at Quintonil restaurant in Mexico City a couple years ago. I started by sauteing a small yellow onion that I diced, then after a few minutes I introduced 3 cloves of minced garlic, and 1 each minced jalapeno and poblano pepper. I removed all the ribs and seeds from these because we're going to get enough spice out of the outside. Then I'm adding a couple of chopped tomatillos just to get some browning on them. Then I'm deglazing with 2 to 2.5 cups of veggie stock. Scrape up all the fond off the bottom and then you can add in your chayote. It's a Mexican squash that tastes really good in soups like this. I just washed and peeled it and then removed the core and then chopped it into sizable pieces before adding it in. I bring that pot to a boil and then I cover and simmer it for like 20 to 30 minutes. Once your chayote is fork tender like this, kind of like cooking potatoes, you're done. Just for a little richness, I'm adding in a handful of pine nuts because I like the taste of them, but that's optional. Then I use my immersion blender to pulverize this into a homogeneous mixture. Or I actually burned the motor up and had to dump this into a regular blender. But once that's blended to your liking, you can season it to taste with salt. I optionally add in a little bit of coconut cream just to enrich it, but honestly I think it's fine without it. I only added like half of a can of just the cream on top. I wouldn't go through the trouble of getting it if you don't have it. That's it. I just garnished it with a little bit of crushed pumpkin seeds and then some parsley. But our guests have been patient. Let's let them try this appetizer.
Ooh, okay.
Oh my gosh, that looks so good. Thank you.
Careful, it is warm, so it's a creamy soup. It's enriched with a little bit of coconut cream, but it's chayote squash and then some jalapeno and poblano peppers. All blended together, comes out really well.
Amazing. Okay.
And it's garnished with a little bit of pumpkin seed and parsley. So
Hey, thought I saw
Wow,
we love it
good.
here.
Thank
Yep.
you. Thank
Do
you.
we need anything else? We're good right now?
I'm
I'll
good.
come check on y'all in a minute. So.
Thank you.
Oh my god. That's so good.
Extremely good.
That is so good. You know the expression, it's so good, you can taste it almost? You know what I mean?
I mean, I don't think that goes for food.
No, just an expression like that event or whatever.
Yeah, so good.
You know,
I
like
could-
that, like the Super Bowl. Saying
Yeah.
winning the Super Bowl is so good, I could taste it.
Yeah, yeah,
You know?
yeah.
I think this is on the same level as that. As like the Saints Super Bowl. Like this is, honestly, it's so flavorful. And I love the kick, the spice that it has to it. Try it with the bread. This is really good.
Okay, now with the bread though?
Do we want some more bread?
I think so.
Yeah,
I think
probably
I'm
take-
we
that
destroyed
bread's
that
really
bread.
good.
Yeah.
Man, y'all are the only customers here, so
Yeah.
I don't have anyone else to give it to. I thoroughly appreciated all the kind compliments, but I think Steven might have over-understood the assignment.
I think you can
You're
take a bit
trying
of
too
getting for the
hard.
mic. What's that? I know, I'm just kidding.
You know that big bread.
How are we doing?
This is amazing. She was just
It's
talking about
so
how.
good.
It's good.
Tell them what you said about soup. How are you?
I just literally hate soup. I don't like
Really?
soup at
Soup
all. This
person.
is so
It's
good.
different.
Like I would
Yeah.
never order a soup anywhere.
Yeah.
I would order this soup every time.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Well, thank you.
Because I just love the spice.
Kick, yeah.
But it's not too much.
It's
It's,
not too much
very,
at all.
it's
It's
so
perfect.
good.
You guys ever cook at home? The key is when you finish something is seasoning it to taste. So that's what we take to heart
So you
here.
season it after you make the dish, or
Yeah,
while it's
you-
cooking?
Yeah, towards the end, you play with the salt amounts and then
Yeah.
see what you feel like it needs, some acid, some sweetness, and then you work with it until it's something that you like.
What kind of acid? What do you mean by?
Well, you can put things like lemon juice, lime juice,
See, I haven't even think about
vinegars.
that, you know, like
But those-
like, yeah.
There's no added acid to this soup, but the vegetables and the peppers and stuff have their own natural acids. So,
Wow.
yeah.
It's so good.
But I'll tell you guys about our main course.
Yeah.
It's a mushroom risotto. So it's a rice dish that is made with some mushroom stock, and until the rice is tender, and we serve it with some oyster mushroom steaks on top. So this mushroom risotto is very heavily based off of Adam Ragusia's, which I'll link in the description. I did do a few things differently, so I'll list the ingredient amounts in the description and I'll run through it here. I started by making the mushroom stock with some dried shiitake and dried porcini. I wanted to try these dried morels from the Asian market, but they were just too expensive. I add that into about 5 cups of water with some bay leaves, as well as some scraps from chopping vegetables, like the roots from the shallot and the garlic, and the fresh mushrooms that we're using, as well as the stems from the parsley. That's all just brought to a boil and then left on a warm simmer until we need it. You do need to strain it out before you use it, obviously. I'm also going to make some mushroom steaks like Adam with these king oyster mushrooms. Just cut the bottoms off and then make some pretty thick slices. Gotta score them like Adam did too. I marinated in some olive oil and red wine vinegar and salt and pepper. And then I heated some olive oil and seared these on both sides until they were nicely browned. Did a little bit of oil basting with some garlic cloves as well. And then I browned the rest of my mushrooms, which consisted of 24 ounces of baby bella mushrooms that I sliced up. And then this pack of about a pound of assorted mushrooms from my Asian market. Some pretty cool and interesting stuff in there. I just trimmed the bottom stems and anything that didn't look good. So I browned that in 3 batches and then set it aside. And then for the risotto, I started with some olive oil and then about 4 minced shallots, followed by a few garlic cloves minced as well, some mustard seeds like Adam, and then my 300 grams of dry arborio rice. Toast that all for just a minute before deglazing. I'm using brandy here because a lot of wines are not vegan. And then 1 ladle at a time, we're adding the warm mushroom stock until the rice is tender. Mine took about 30 minutes on low heat before it was good to go. I'm finishing with some vegan sour cream like Adam, and then I'm adding vegan Parmesan cheese. Both of these taste amazing and really complete the dish. I just plated that up with the mushroom steaks and some parsley on top, and our lovely guests are gonna taste test.
These plates are a little warm, so be careful, but
Oh my god.
here's your mushroom risotto.
Okay, that looks so good. Are you kidding?
Alright, so there's a mixture of mushrooms. On the inside we have enoki and then some bella mushrooms and some small trumpet mushrooms, and then on top we have some king oyster mushrooms that we sear like steak. Hope y'all enjoy,
So
but
good. Thank you.
alright,
Thank you.
I'll leave y'all to it. Pardon me. This is also made a little better with some Parmesan cheese, vegan Parmesan cheese. So,
Vegan
would
Parmesan
we,
cheese.
do we want any cheese?
Yeah.
Can I grate some for you fresh? All right, I'll get some for Christina first.
Ooh,
I love it.
this is awesome. Thank you.
Is that good?
Yeah,
amazing.
Just tell me
That's
when.
awesome.
That's good. Yeah.
All right, you guys
Thank you
enjoy.
so much. I'm gonna take a picture.
It's really good.
Thank you.
Oh wow, you can just tell. That's crazy. The texture of this king of the trumpet, king trumpet mushroom. It's kind of like a meat texture to it.
Okay, I'm excited to try that. It looks really
It
good.
is so good. Yeah.
Mmm.
So good, right? Was it the
It was the risotto with the cheese
with the king trumpet?
and the yeah.
What, the music?
This is the whole thing.
You look really good though. Really good.
That means a lot coming from you.
You guys didn't hear that. For the mic, I just want to say I think Christina is so beautiful. She looks so beautiful tonight. She looks amazing.
I won't disclose how much wine Steven had to this point in the night.
We enjoying ourselves?
Yeah,
It's so pretty good.
full.
Oh man.
I wish I weren't as full as I am.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Well, if you guys save room for dessert, we have a beautiful treat.
We'll
But
definitely be eating dessert.
I'll tell you about it. It's our also house-made chocolate mousse, coconut cream, and then we have some Dutch processed cocoa powder, and then your regular cocoa powder.
So dessert is going to be the easiest recipe of the night for us. No cooking, just mixing. I'm using a stand mixer with a whisk attachment, but you could easily do this by hand. So I'm first adding in 2 cans worth of coconut cream, and that's just the cream off the top, not the liquid on the bottom. You can refrigerate these cans beforehand to make it easier to scoop the cream off. I'm just going to whip that for a minute or so until it's broken up and fluffy. Then I'm going to sift in 60 grams or a half cup of powdered sugar, 30 grams or a third of a cup of regular unsweetened cocoa powder, and 10 grams or a tablespoon and a half of Dutch processed cocoa powder. Finally, just a pinch of salt and a couple of teaspoons of vanilla extract, and then we mix all that together until it's homogeneous. That's literally it. Scoop that into some nice ramekins or just some serving glasses like I'm doing. I garnished with some sliced strawberry and sugar pearls. The guests are full, but there's always room for dessert, right?
Wow. So chocolate mousse. Strawberries aren't in season right now, so they're not the most juicy, flavorful, but the mousse is to die for. So hope you guys enjoyed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's thick.
It's very thick.
Yeah.
It's heavy. You might not be able to finish the whole thing because it's a lot.
Oh, I know I
like
won't be
it.
able to
I
finish
like
this whole
it.
thing, but it's so good. I want to finish the whole thing.
You like it?
Yeah.
It's so
very,
good.
very tasty.
Tastes like, non-vegan chocolate dessert. Kind of tastes like brownie batter to me. It's kind of,
But for
No, it
vegan, this
does.
is so good. Like, you honestly can't even really tell. Like it's
Might be biased.
we don't
but-
know what anything that's not vegan tastes like.
Yes, I do. I've had non-vegan food.
I'm just messing with you.
See, this should be a real restaurant.
We have to-go boxes, so
Okay, good.
do we have to-go boxes?
we can figure out a way
We
to
can
make
figure
them.
something out. You have aluminum foil, so.
Y'all are actually the first customers we've ever had at this restaurant. So.
Yeah. Right open.
Wait, how long have you been
Cooking?
cooking?
Like 4 years. Literally, like the first thing I ever cooked was 4 years ago. Like I hated kitchens and cooking when I was a kid until I moved out of my parents' house. And then I was like, I realized I loved it. So it was like a newfound passion. Like,
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
4 years. That's
Yeah.
not long at all.
But like,
for it being this amazing as well.
yeah,
Like,
it's.
No, that was phenomenal.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, the food is all paid for, so I'm not gonna bring a check out. But I do.
This was just an insanely fun and memorable experience. Major shout out to Steven and Christina for playing along and being good sports, especially to Christina, who didn't know this was happening until the night of. I stressed a lot about having all the food ready at the right times, and especially about having all my recording equipment in place. Filming at home with one camera is challenging enough for me, so this really got me out of my comfort zone in a lot of ways, and I'm really happy I did it. Just thankful for great friends and good opportunities. Not sure how this video is going to do, but I am kind of grasping at straws at this point. Not really sure what works, but I did put a lot of work into this, so if you watched it this far, I hope you enjoyed it. And one more time, thank you Christina and Steven for making this possible. But leave a comment below and let me know your thoughts. As always, thank you all for watching, be blessed, and I'll see you next time.
Okay, y'all don't even have to look. Like, I'm just gonna say, like, let's see.
What do we do?
Just, you could, I don't know, whatever you feel most comfortable with that's not awkward, because I know it is awkward, but
Okay.
I'm gonna say, like, these are my friends, and I'm chefing a date or something. Like,
Okay.
let's see.